Part 5. But here is the inscription at the heart of the matter. Tell me if it fits our ancestors or not. Lines 26 through 28. Personal quote. The princes are prostrate, saying, "Peace!" Not one is raising his head among the 9 bows. Now that Tahunu, which is the Libya, has come to ruin, Hatti is pacified. The Canaan has been plundered into every sort of woe. Ashkelon has been overcome. Giza has been captured. Yorman has been made non-existent. Israel is laid waste and his seed is not. Semicolon. Huru is become a widow because of Egypt. Stop. Bingo, bingo. Did you catch it? Did you catch what you contemplate? Catch the fact that they are talking about the Syrians. The first half of the list, Hatti was pacified because they were the elite nation of the Libyans. And the elite nations who took control of Ashkelon, Giza, Yorman, and Israel from the Canaanites were the Huru. Both Hatti and Huru are Syrian Hittite nations. But the context alone, what the semicolon projects, Huru was made a widow because Huru controlled everyone mentioned. Let's continue if you don't believe me. Quote, the 9 bow is a term the Egyptians used to refer to their enemies. The actual enemies varied according to time and circumstance. Hatti and Huru are Syrian Palestine. Canaan and Israel are smaller units. And Ashkelon, Gezer, and Yorman are cities within the region. According to the stele, all these entities fell under the rule of the Egyptian Empire at that time. Stop! I told you. And the reason for the military campaign into Canaan in the first place was because the Aboriginal people were being invaded by people who didn't give a darn about paying Egyptian tribute. Shadow Israel included. But for more proof, let's continue please. Under line 27, Israel. Quote, Petrie called upon Wilhelm Spiegelberg, a German philologist, in his archaeological team to translate the inscription. Spiegelberg was puzzled by one symbol towards the end, that of a people or tribe whom Merneptah had victoriously smitten. I.si.ri.ar. Petrie quickly suggested that it read Israel. Spiegelberg agreed that this translation must be correct. Alright, under determinatives. Quote, according to the Oxford History of Biblical World, this, personal quote, foreign people sign is typically used by the Egyptians to signify nomadic groups or peoples without a fixed city-state home, thus implying a semi-nomadic people or tribe status for Israel at that time. According to Jeffrey Hoffmeyer, personal quote, no Egyptologist would ever read the sign of a foreign ethnic entity as indicating a foreign land, but a people group. Say it again. But a people group. In contrast to this apparent Israelite statelessness, the other Canaanite groups fought by Egypt, Ashkelon, Giza, and Yohaman, are described in the stele as nascent states. Stop! Bingo, bingo! Why 2 bingos, you ponder? The first bingo is for the understanding that Shadow Israel was a foreign people group outside of their Aboriginal brothers and cousins, of nomads during a time Uncle Samson was crushing skulls. Besides, our ancestors were all of the same bloodline. We were a family group. A people group need only to speak the same language and live in the same society. Big difference. And the second, bingo, was because according to Google and myself, nascent, N-A-S-C-E-N-T, means, quote, especially of a process or organization just coming into existence and beginning to display signs of future potential. Young, emergent, burgeoning, embryonic, budding, developing. And that can only mean there is no way in Hades the Egyptians were talking about ham seed. You know, their aboriginal brothers and cousins. No! They are telling us from the grave there was a new and fresh people that came upon the earth, and one of them went under the name of Israel. But that's not all! Under interpretation, quote, it is not clear, however, just who this Israel was or where they were located. For the who, if those depicted on the battle reliefs of Karnak are the Israelites, then Merneptah Israelites are therefore Canaanites, because they were depicted in Canaanite costume. If, on the other hand, the Karnak reliefs do not show Merneptah's campaign, then the Steele's Israelites may be Shasus, a term used by the Egyptians to refer to nomads and marauders. Similarly, if Merneptah's claim to have destroyed Israel's seed means that he destroyed its grain supply, then Israel can be taken to be a settled crop-growing people. If, however, it means he killed Israel's prodigy, then Israel can be taken to be pastoralists, i.e. Shasu. Stop. And as you can see, none of these things involve our ancestors. From this point, the wisdomless, highly educated scholars go back and forth realizing their theories don't pan out. For if this is true, that can't be true. And if that is true, this can't be true kind of stuff. I can continue to read it for you if you want me to. Or I can direct you to something Miss Reader already shared with us a long time ago. Remember the discovery of the Apu and the Harapu, and how they were considered a class/race of people the Egyptians called the Shasu? Check out what the Egyptians said they looked like and tell me if you think they were our ancestors or shadow Israel. According to Papyrus Anastasi, number 1, and that was in 1250 BC. And that's Papyrus, Papyrus, Anastasi, Anastasi, the number 1, first one. Quote, the face of the past is dangerous with Shasu, hidden under the bushes. Some of them are 4 to 5 cubits, nose to foot, with wild faces. I'm going to read that again. The face of the past is dangerous with Shasu, hidden under the bushes. Some of them are 4 to 5 cubits, nose to foot, with wild faces. Example. If we use the standard 20.65 Egyptian cubit, their height would have been from 6'10" to 8'7" to the nose, not the crown of their head, but to the nose. And seeing Saul was our tallest Israelite at around 6'1", we would have looked like grasshoppers to them. Another thing, am I the only person to notice how interesting it is they measured them to the nose and not the crown of their skulls? I don't know why, but I think their different elongated skulls had something to do with it. Huh? What you say, little Miss Ivy? Oh, I'm already ahead of you, little sister.